When we're ready to crimp on a contact, we need to determine what crimp tool and positioner to use. In order to do that, we can look at these color codes on these machine contacts, these mil-spec contacts. And I can see on this one, the socket, that it's orange, blue, gray. And when I look that up, I find that it tells me that it's a M39029/63-368 contact, which takes wire from 20 to 24 gauge and requires a K13-1 positioner. Well, I don't have that positioner with me. You might think, well, can't you use the K42? But if we try that, we can see that it does not sit in there properly. It's sitting way too tall out of that positioner. So that is not the correct positioner for that contact, as the documentation informed us. If I look at this pin here, it's a little harder to see that color band, but it is an orange, blue, black. And that one is an M39029/58-360 contact, and it can handle a wire range of 22 to 28 gauge. And it requires the K42 positioner, which is the one that we have sitting here right now. If we try that positioner with that contact, we can see when it gets in there that it does sit in there properly, and it positions it such that it's going to crimp right up here on that barrel of the contact. So that is the correct one that we use for this contact. When we're ready, we will slide that contact on. These smaller contacts are somewhat difficult to get on. Now, if we look at this, there's too much exposed conductor there. So that's actually been stripped a little too much for this contact. It was the perfect length for the socket, but it's too much for this contact. So we need to trim that a little bit before we can crimp it properly. Okay, the wire's been trimmed up. We can just see in there that little hole. We can see the strands there. So the strands are through the barrel section deep enough. We don't have a lot of exposed insulation, or rather exposed conductor between the barrel and the insulation here at the back. So that's good. And we know that our K42 is the right positioner. So we're ready to set up our crimper now. To do that, looking at this K42, we're going to look at the back here, and it's going to tell us how to set our crimper. So with a 22 contact size and a 22 gauge wire, which is what we're using. So 22 wire, 22 contact size, we're setting a setting of number 4 on that crimper. Now what that means is, over here we have the crimp depth adjuster. So right now it's on 6, where that arrow is pointing. We need to turn it to 4. So we lift it. Has to be released in order to do that. Lift, rotate, lock it in there. Should sit back down. And now we've selected number 4, which matches what is on this piece here for a 22 gauge wire, which is what we are crimping. Now we take our positioner, we align the 2 bayonets there, push, turn, lock. Now that's in position, and we're ready to crimp. So I'm right-handed, holding it in my right hand. I already have the contact on. I'm going to push it in, put some tension on it, pushing it towards the inside so that it doesn't pull back out as I crimp. And then in one motion, we're gonna squeeze until it releases. Give it a little last squeeze. It will automatically release, and we have performed our crimp. And you can see here that it's crimped it between the inspection window and the back of the barrel. And looking at it, it doesn't look like it pulled out. So it looks good. Give it a little pull test. Everything looks good there. We've just performed our first crimp on a Mil-Spec contact.